All right, so a bit of news here in Washington moments ago as President Biden spoke to the nation's mayors. He answered Republican critics who said that his administration has not done enough to secure the southern border. Here was the president moments ago.
We need significant policy changes at the border, including changes in our asylum system to ensure that we have the authorities we need to control the border. And I'm ready to act. I think, God willing, and the creek not rise, as my grandpop would say. I think next week we ought to be able to work out something, at least in the Senate.
At least in the Senate. We heard from Bob Good of the House Freedom Caucus earlier in this show. House Republicans have different demands than what's being negotiated in the Senate. When you heard the president there.
They have unrealistic demands, which is the problem. Like the Senate Republicans conference is working very well with the Senate majority and the White House to craft a solution. The problem is House Republicans are living in a completely different political reality. And every time they introduce something, it's something they know that cannot pass the Senate.
They let them jump in, but they would say that they're living in the reality that the border's a mess and that's something that has to be done.
Voters are going to have to decide this debate, this issue.
It's the worst border crisis in American history, and this is not inherited. It's created. And what the Senate Republicans are talking about is window dressing. You have to do other things. There's things in H.R. 2, and I'm going to specifically say what they are. Instituting Remain in Mexico. Okay, having Mexico buy in. Right now, Joe Biden needs to go out there to Luis Obrador and push the pedal to the metal, just like Donald Trump did, because that is how you're going to secure the border. We have a blueprint. He has the powers to do it and to cut off 80% of the problem. Joe Biden just chooses not to.
That's exactly Mexico has shown time and time again that they are not a good faith partner. They haven't been a good faith partner under Democratic presidents or Republican presidents.
They don't keep their deals.
Okay, well then let's add closing loopholes for asylum, which H.R. 2 has, expanding penalties for visa overstays.
Most of the individuals who are trying to cross the border right now do not even qualify for asylum. These are individuals who are coming here for work. They are coming here for an economic good. They wouldn't qualify for asylum even under our current asylum law.
Yeah, 95% of them don't qualify for asylum. Asylum fraud is the biggest problem that we face at the border, but there are other problems that we face at the border. Catch and release. This is another problem. If you release people, do you know what the chance of being deported is? 6%. So you actually have to deport people. Joe Biden's deported the fewest people in American history.
All I'm saying is that you can propose all these solutions that you think are 100% accurate and going to solve the problem, but the political reality is you've got to work with Senate Democrats to get this done. The House far-right
Senate Republicans are on board. It is House Republicans, and even with the current policy, even with the changes that the Senate Democrats are making, that Senate Republicans do agree with. Their problem is they cannot get House Republicans on board, and many of these things aren't even comfortable for Democrats.
Joe Biden has the power to do everything I just said without Congress. That is the whole point. Joe Biden chooses not to do it. But Donald Trump did it. Barack Obama decided to do it when an election occurred. It can be done.
Joe Biden has a strong constituency as well of people within his party that think a lot of these policies are not ripe to be enacted and that they're misguided and that they're inhumane. They do not address the real reason.
Let me ask you this, because I just heard there in that soundbite from the president talk about asylum, okay, which you've been talking about. So let's just work under the assumption that changing asylum is the centerpiece of a Senate deal. Not necessarily, we'll see what happens in the House, but in the Senate deal. Around the table, yes or no, is that enough?
No, that is not enough.
I mean, given the political realities, it may be all we can get.
No, absolutely not. Not enough.
No, it's not enough, and I do agree. I think that where we are right now, I don't think that it would do much to change anything, honestly.
Okay. All right. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.